So why is MiG-21 called flying coffin?
It is a colloquial term. Okay, so I will just go back a bit about the story. See, when the MiG-21s were made, they were made by Russia for two purposes. One is they were flown by the most experienced pilots, right? And secondly, they were meant for high altitude interceptions. Remember, I said stand by too early on the scramble thing. The MiG-21 starts up in 45 seconds. So I have rolled in a MiG-21 in a scramble in about 1 minute 30 seconds in that short time. What is it designed for? To take off in that short time, do a supersonic climb, high altitude, intercept from a high altitude. That's why. when it came to India, we used it for multiple purposes. MiG-21 was not used for low-level flying by the Russians. Used it for low-level flying. So the inherent risk increased. Secondly, let me draw an example. Suppose you have a brand new Mercedes and you got a brand new driver and you got a Maruti 800. Fresh driver come to you. Would you give him Mercedes to drive on the first day?
The probability is very less.
So what would you do?
You train him on the...
You tell him, show me your skills. If you want to test somebody, he says, चलो बैठ Mercedes मेरे को दिखा कैसे चलाता है. You tell him, यार एक बार Maruti चला के देख. Let me see you handle everything. Then you graduate. That's the same. You had MiG-21s, you had Mirage 2000, you had MiG-29. We had 40 of either of them. So when a fresh pilot came, what would you do? You put him to the MiG-21 because we had more than 75%. It was cheaper. Yes, it was risky. But then what do? You have no option. Given a choice, if the Air Force had unlimited money, you would have only MiG-29s or only Su-30s or only Mirage 2000s. You are not such a country. So there are inherent risks. And like I always say, if God wanted man to fly, he would have given you wings. Do you know recently in the last 6 months there have been 3 F-16 crashes?
Yes.
There have been Osprey, the tilt rotor. They have been grounded in the US Air Force. The most modern aircraft, they've been grounded. It is just that we tend to make news about events, but we don't make news about events abroad. So there have been accidents galore of all aircraft. It is bound to happen. They are inherently unstable platforms, like I said. Yes, in India the risk was enhanced because for the 2 reasons I said. And secondly, if you go out on the road, if you take the number of accidents that have taken place, how many Maruti accidents or today say Hyundai accidents and how many Mercedes accidents? If you compare,
Hyundai would be probably a little more.
Exactly. So if you have 75% MiG-21s and only 10% MiG-29s and Mirage 2000s, how many accidents would take place over MiG-21?
Statistically, they would look higher.
That is what happened. That is precisely what happened. Otherwise, and like I said, respect the aircraft, the aircraft will respect you. The day you think you know the aircraft will show you that it knows more.